Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm super excited for this video because I'm going to be talking about the new Huda Beauty Nude Light Palette, which just looks like this. It is a tiny, adorable, little neutral palette. Here is what this one looks like. So you can see this one in particular has some really beautiful mauve and purpley tones to it. And when I saw this, I really did think it was beautiful, especially seeing the swatches. I was definitely really drawn to the color story because I've been doing more simple looks lately, and I do kind of, I don't know, I've been gravitating towards a softer look while still being a little bit colorful, and this did draw my attention. But I've never purchased from Huda Beauty before just because I'm cruelty free and I don't purchase from brands that sell mink lashes, and I've kind of been on the edge of purchasing from Huda just because they no longer sell mink lashes on their website, but they do have them in Sephora. But they're completely gone from their website. I emailed their customer service. I didn't get a response. They don't test their makeup on animals. So I was kind of like teetering on the edge of like maybe I would possibly try Huda Beauty. So what happened was I was coerced into purchasing this because this is actually a collaboration with two of my really good friends on YouTube. So Angelica and Karen, Angelica Nikis and Karen Harris, I'll have both of their channels linked down below and both of their videos. They actually purchased the other two palettes in this line. So if you're not already familiar, there's a nude light, a nude medium, and a nude, I think it was deep. So there are 3 different neutral palettes splitting up the skin tone spectrum into 3 categories and just giving shades that will work for you and work for the depth of your skin. So I think it's a really brilliant idea. This is not a problem that I have. Like, I definitely have the privilege here because I have such fair skin that literally everything shows up on me. I feel like for me, having a nude palette that works for me is not like a revolutionary idea. This was just me drawn to the color story. But I do think that for a lot of people with deeper skin tones, there's so many unnecessary shades in neutral palettes because it's like they're catering to everyone. So there ends up being shades that you would never use or that are too light, too ashy, depending on your skin tone. So I thought that this whole concept was a really brilliant idea. And they messaged me and they were like, we're doing this and we need someone to buy the light. Do you want to buy it? And I was like, I don't know. I just had a moment where I was like, whatever, like, I'm just going to buy it. I'm just going to have fun with makeup. So I thought I would go ahead and give it a chance. And I mean, it gives me reference for other things that I review. I can now compare it to the Huda Beauty formula. So I don't know, I just wanted to have some fun. So hopefully you guys don't mind that I'm reviewing this on my channel. I'm sorry, I just had to get that spiel out of the way really quickly because I'm sure that I'll get questions. But like I said, it's a collaboration, so I'm going to go ahead and link Angelica and Karen both down below. I feel like I've been talking about them nonstop recently. That's what it feels like because Monday's video, I also talked about how much I love them. But they're both just really wonderful, beautiful people inside and out. So I love getting to know them in person. And yeah, so I'm like the biggest fan over here. So what else am I going to say? I feel like you should definitely go check them out. I literally threatened or else in Monday's video to go watch both of them, so I'm not trying to overdo it, but they're wonderful. They make amazing content. But I was so excited to do this little collaboration with them, so if you're interested in the Huda Beauty nude line, then you can see a review between all 3 of us, and I'm really curious to hear what their thoughts are because I'm impressed. So, spoiler alert. Even though you're supposed to say spoiler alert first, but I'm impressed. So this video is going to consist of me doing a quick little review of the palette. I've worn it twice now and it is only 9 shades, so I've worn all 9 shades on my eyes, so I feel like I can give a pretty good idea of how I feel about it. And I didn't feel like there was any discrepancies between the different shades. I felt like the formula of the metallics were all the same and the formula of all the mattes were the same. So just going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to go ahead and swatch it out to show you and, you know, ooh and ah a little bit. And then at the end, I'll do the eye look that I'm wearing right now so that you can see how I achieved it and see how the shadows performed. So let's just go ahead and jump on into the review. All right, so the palette retails for $29 and I honestly can't get over the size of the palette. I feel like it is just so perfect. It's basically the size of the like newer Ofra highlight packaging. It's here, I'll just put that in front just to show you. It's just the tiniest little bit bigger, so I really do love the size. I just think it would be perfect for travel, perfect for someone who has a ton of makeup but doesn't want to add even more clutter, perfect for someone who has a minimalist makeup collection. It is just the tiniest little size and I'm really drawn to that. And the more I look at it, the more I'm like, this is just so cute. So I also really love the packaging on the front. It's actually like a little bit like a snake skin. It kind of has that like imprint in it and it's just very classic. And then it does have a nice little decent sized mirror, which you could definitely do your makeup in. It's high quality. And then here are the 9 shades that are in the light version. So there are 1, 2, 3, 5 mattes and 4 metallics, which is a pretty good ratio to me. And it also does have a pretty decent like range, like going from like light, medium, another medium, and then a deeper shade. Deeper I'm using relatively because it's not that deep as it is the lightest palette. For me, because I do like dramatic looks, I wouldn't have minded something to be a little bit deeper, even more deepening, but I feel like that's like against the whole point of this palette. So that's, like I said, it makes sense for the palette. And even like having a lighter cream shade that's matte is not my personal preference. I feel like I have so many of those, but again, I'm not mad at it because I feel like it makes sense for this palette and it makes sense for a light skin tone. Whereas when you have that shade in every single neutral palette, it's so repetitive and a lot of people can't even use it. It's too light, it's too ashy. So it makes sense here, so I'm not mad at it. And I do really, really love the overall tones of this palette because it pulls very mauvey and it's got pink undertones, and I just think it's a really beautiful, just such a nice twist on a regular neutral palette. Like it's not in regular neutrals. I mean, look at my eye look today. It's so, so pretty. I really, really love the colors that are in here, and it's definitely something that I see using a lot. Even my mom, I was showing her and she's like, ooh, I like that. If you don't want to keep it, I will. I'm like, Mom, I literally paid for this. No. I feel like every day she's telling me something new that she likes that I have, and then the next day she's like, stop giving me makeup, I have too much. But I do really, really love the color scheme. So as far as the formula goes, I also am very impressed. What I've heard is that Huda Beauty can be a little hit and miss, but for me, this palette was a hit. I feel like all the mattes are pigmented and they blend super, super easy. Like this morning when it first came in the mail and I like slapped on a 5-minute look before work because I just wanted to do another look before I filmed this video and I wanted to see how it wore throughout the day. I had no problem with wear, and it literally blended so fast. Like I did a full like, I mean, it was a very soft look, but I did a full like rose gold, and I used both of these matte shades here, and then I used a combination, of these two metallics on my lid, and it literally took like I said, like 3 minutes. It was so fast and no blending, and I used a brush that I don't even like. So I'm really impressed with the mattes and just how easily they blend. It was effortless. And then as far as the metallics go, I feel like they're so much prettier in person. Like I've seen them online and they just look like regular metallics, but I feel like in person, like you can see that they do have more of that intense texture. They're sparkly, they're just beautiful. And then this shade right here is a duochrome that shifts completely from pink to like gold. It does have a very intense shift to it. And like the way that you look at it, it's just so beautiful. And I live for duochrome, so I was really happy that was included. And I feel like it's light enough that you could use it in your inner corner, which is what I did today, and it really reflects that gold. Or you could go ahead and use it all over your lid in combination with the other matte shades. I feel like the shades in general just go together really well. There's like nothing here where I feel like it wouldn't go. Every single matte shade I feel like I could put every metallic together with and it wouldn't look weird. There wouldn't be muddiness. All the colors are just perfectly paired, even though they're not exactly the same tone. Like this one kind of goes a little bit peachy, but peach with purple is literally my favorite thing. I feel like it's the most stunning combination. Kind of can't wait to do that type of look next. So overall, I would say definitely impressed, and I had no problem with working with it. I feel like it's just a really tiny, perfect little neutral palette. So I like it. I like it a lot, but I don't feel like it's anything where it's like, oh, like I don't have neutral shades that show up on my skin tone. Like that's not a problem that I have. So it wasn't like it was solving a problem for me. It was just based on me liking these shades, if that makes sense. So like I said, I'm a little bit more here for like the dark one. Like I feel like that's like more unique in my opinion, but overall the concept of the line I think is so cute. I feel like the kind of look that I got with this minus the metallics reminds me a little bit of like the Dose of Colors mauve palette. I think it's like Marvelous Mauves or something. I feel like I got a similar matte look out of it, but then the metallics in here just took it to another level. Also, this is a little random, but I thought it was super sweet just listening to Karen talk about how she views the brand Huda Beauty and just the way that they've changed the market in Asia and overseas, and just the admiration that she had for her. It kind of made me like give Huda Beauty a second look, because normally it's something where I'm like, nah, like I don't need it. Like I just like keep it moving because of their like kind of gray area. I don't know, but the way that she talked about Huda Beauty I thought was kind of inspiring. So that's my thoughts. So many thoughts. All right, so let's go ahead and do some swatches. First, we have this really beautiful, like, mid-tone mauve shade. Kind of curious to see how these swatch because I haven't even swatched them yet. I just know how they perform on the eye. Then there's the purple, which I'm so excited. I feel like that's such the perfect pop for this palette. Like, even if you just went with those two shades, I feel like this makes it so simple. And I love a pop of purple. And then there's a really, really soft pinky shade, which this is one of those shades I really, really love. But I get annoyed when it's in palettes because I know that that is not going to show up on any other skin tone but mine, even though I have to build it up a little bit. So it makes sense to be in here. Okay, next, this metallic is really beautiful. It's kind of an interesting, like, taupey, pinky purple. I don't know, it looks very, like, I don't know, it doesn't look that, like, eye-catching in the pan, but I think it actually is really, really beautiful. And then there is that cream shade, which is light enough that it does highlight my skin tone just a little bit. And then last but not least for this row, this shade is just so beautiful. I live for these kind of duochromes. Like, look at that. Oh, really? Really? Hot Mess Express. And then for the last row, there's first this shade, which is pretty much like a true rose gold metallic, which again, super, super pretty. Really like the formula. It's like soft, but very shiny. And then there's a mid-tone kind of peachy, warm shade. And then the deepest shade is this kind of warm brown. Right, so there are all 9 shades. I feel like you can tell, like, I really like the way it swatches. It is very, very beautiful. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump on into the look. I already went ahead and used the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas in the shade Illustrate to prime my eyes. I'm starting off with this really light pink matte shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw that into my crease with a fluffy brush. This is just a random one from Profusion because I really, really, really need to wash my brushes. That's showing up pretty well. It's a nice pink, soft shade. Just gonna go ahead and do one more layer for the heck of it. But it's mostly just like a soft wash of pink. I'm also just gonna go ahead and pop that shade along my lower lash line. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and take this really beautiful mauve matte. I'm going in with a little bit of a smaller fluffy crease brush. This is the Morphe M456, and it is a little bit stained, but it's not dirty to the point where it's going to affect the eye look. So I'm just going to throw that into my outer V, starting off, and then just kind of blend it out in circular motions. I'm going to go ahead and take my previous brush and just lightly blend. Honestly, it's already almost completely blended, but this is just habit. Also going to go ahead and take a little bit of that purple along the lower lash line. So I think you could definitely leave the mattes there if you wanted more of a really soft look, but I'm going to go ahead and deepen it up just a little bit with this brown shade right here. I'm going to pop that on my outer V. Again, just blending out with my previous brush. I'm gonna take a touch of that brown just on like the outer third of my lower lash line. I thought I'd go ahead and take the really light matte cream shade and just do a matte brow bone highlight, which is not something I normally do, but when I did a look earlier with this shade, I noticed it was light enough. It highlighted my skin a little bit, so I thought I'd pop it underneath my brow bone. Also, quick little tip, shades like that are really nice if you get something close to your skin tone. If you're like me, I always end up blending right here, and I normally blend it up too high, so sometimes I'll take a shade like this, and I mean, I don't really see that with this look, but I'm just showing you, and I'll blend it right there so that it doesn't look so high, and I think it looks a little bit more flattering for my eye shape. Okay, so for the lid, I really want to go in with that beautiful purple just because it really stole my attention. The thing is, I really want to go in with it for my finger or with my finger because I feel like that's personally how I prefer applying metallics. I feel like it's so easy. It just makes everything look better and there's no fallout normally, or way less fallout than if you used a brush. But because I wanted to give like an accurate opinion on this palette, and I feel like not everyone likes to do metallics with their fingers, I thought I'd do quick little brush swatches. So I have the other side of the Profusion brush, which is a little bit more of a flat brush, but it has a little bit of texture to it, and I'm kind of just doing that. So here's what that brush swatch looks like. So, I mean, you can definitely pick up product with something like that. And then I also have my little e.l.f. like $1 brush. Oh, that's picking it up pretty well, actually. Just, I mean, it's picking up it a little bit chunky. But I feel like you could definitely use your brush. However, like I said, I'm going to use my finger because that's personally what I prefer. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap that over my lid. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. I did get just a touch of fallout from that, but it's actually wiping away pretty easily. I'm going to take my outer V brush and just lightly blend over the edge so everything is nice and soft. I'm going to take this rose gold shade right here and I'm going to pop it onto the front of the lower lash line. Alright, now probably the most exciting part to me, I'm going to go ahead and take this lighter pinky gold duochrome and I'm going to pop that onto my inner corner. Ooh. So pretty. Alright, so that's pretty much everything for the eyeshadow. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the look by adding on the Ardency and Modster liner in the shade Hot Pink. I just thought it'd be a fun, like, little pop of color to this more, like, I mean, I wouldn't consider this exactly neutral, but it's definitely a softer look. And then I'm going to curl my lashes, which I got this little lash curler, so I'm going to give it a chance. I never curl my lashes. And then I'm going to use the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I thought I'd show you the final finishing touches to this look. I'm going to go ahead and use the Laura Geller Pixie Pearl highlighter, which Angie gave me. It's like a really beautiful light pink shade. Here's what it looks like. I've swatched it, but I haven't used it on the skin yet, so I'm excited to try it. Light pink highlighter's right up my alley, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop that on my cheekbones. Ooh. So I'm using the Sigma F06, which is definitely more of a natural highlight brush. It really allows you to blend the highlight into the skin. So it's not making it like incredibly glowy, but I'm sure I could definitely get there. I've just been liking this brush because it does give you that kind of more natural looking application. And then you can add more where you need it. And then for lips, I'm going to go ahead and use the Makeup Geek Iconic Lipstick in the shade Shy. Alright, so this is the finished look with the palette, and I really, really love how it turned out. I feel like I look very, very put together right now. Everything matches. I feel really good. The only thing is I was looking at my nails and I'm like, I wish I had painted or had time to paint them like a really nice nude shade. Then it would have all been a vibe. But they're still living their Natasha in a Gold and Metropolis matching moment, so I should redo those. I think you can probably tell that I really do like the palette, and I'm excited that I gave it a chance. And it's also kind of that thing where it's like, once you, like, I feel like saying no to something completely, you're like, I'm not buying anything of that, is so much easier than like trying to be selective. And now I'm like thinking about all the Huda palettes I've ever seen in my life, and I'm like, so I don't know, I'm gonna really just give it time and enjoy this one palette. But I do really like it, and I'm glad that I got suckered into purchasing it by some very bad influences in my life. I'm just kidding, but I really did just buy it for the fun of it, and I don't regret it because I actually ended up really liking it, and I was kind of like not thinking that I really would. I was a little unsure, so I'm happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said in the beginning, don't forget to go ahead and check out Angie and Karen. I'll have them both linked down below. their channels, their videos, their life stories. I'm just kidding. Maybe. This is why I don't have friends. Alright, so that's everything. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, wait, no. Oh, I would wait till the very last moment to say this, but if you came over from Angie's channel or Karen's channel, thank you so much for giving me a chance. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope that you decide to stick around, watch a few more videos. Maybe, I promise I'm not normally this put together, so don't get your hopes up, but I'm so happy that you decided to come over. So thank you so much, and that's everything. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.